Hey, what's up? It's me. I am just making this quick video. If you have ever wondered what the difference is between saying I'm sorry, apologizing, and using forgiveness, I'm making this quick video today to explain the difference between the three. I think it's super important during this time when we're trying to do collective transmutation, collective healing, shadow healing, inner child healing, past life healing, present life healing, that you understand the difference because I think at present times, a lot of people have been confusing saying I'm sorry and apologizing versus using forgiveness. The power of the vibration of forgiveness is that we really have the ability to transmute the discordant cords and connections that we have with one another. And while I'm sorry and apologizing can also do that, it's three different levels, and sort of like the deeper the connections, the more traumatic the events, the more we know people that we have these events with, you might want to choose to use different ones. And so I just wanted to give a quick explanation about the difference between the three, so that when you do your collective healing or individual healing, shadow healing, inner child work, or past life or present life healing work, you kind of are vibrating or choosing to bring in the vibration and frequency that really makes sense for the event. I think a lot of people honestly have been using like I'm sorry or apologizing for things that maybe need a deeper level of healing. So stay tuned, check out the video, and we'll see you. Hey, my name is Loretta, or Trinity6, and welcome back to my channel, The Limitless Infinite, a space for you to align your mind to higher vibrations and higher frequencies. As I stated, this video today is just a quick tip about forgiveness. And the reason I am bringing this up is because so many people are doing shadow work and inner child healing and past life healing and present life healing that I thought that this was really important. I kind of had this epiphany sort of the other day, and I was like, whoa, this is like really great information, because I think a lot of people get caught, especially when doing shadow work or doing trauma healing or emotional healing that they have with other people, or experiences they've had that involve other people. It can be really challenging sometimes, because sometimes you're in an experience or in a memory with someone, or a connection with someone, a connection you still have with someone from a traumatic event or a negative event. And sometimes one person is ready to do the forgiving or to be forgiven, and the other person isn't. This happens, I think, really often. A lot of times events for two people are not necessarily healed at the same rate. And so when you're someone and you go and you have an event with somebody and it's super traumatic, and you have, like, let's say a blowout fight with someone, and then you go through and you say, man, I said all these things, I really didn't mean them, and you're thinking about it and you really go over the situation. You finally reach this point where you're being really empathetic. You're like, gosh, yeah, I really could have been nicer, or you know, I said all these things and they were, you know, obviously really hurtful, and I just want to clear this energy. I want to clear this up with this person. I'm hurting. I can tell that they're probably hurting. And say you go to this person and you say, you know, I'm asking for you to forgive me. And the first most important point I'd like to make before all others is that there are different levels. There is the apology. There is I'm sorry. There is the sincere apology, and then there is forgiveness. And I think it's important to just note the difference between the two, because I'm sorry is really a statement that you say when you're being empathetic with someone, when you're like, oh man, I see this situation that's happening to them, and man, I feel bad. I feel this vibration. I kind of like feel what they're feeling, and you're like, oh man, I'm so sorry. And so sorry is something that you say when you're being like empathetic, you know, and I think that that's something that happens a lot when you do something accidentally, or just something random happens. You walk on someone's foot and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, because it was random. You didn't intentionally plan on hurting somebody, but you want to basically make this person aware that you know that this event just happened, and that you feel bad that they just had their toe stepped on because you didn't mean to do that. And so you just clear the energy really quick, because sometimes people are grumpy and you step on someone's toe and it just like totally sets off their whole day, and then they're just like have negative event after negative event because they're like, man, someone just like walked on my foot and like didn't even say anything. Like if you walked on it and didn't say anything at all, they'd be like, that's so rude. And just sometimes you just catch people on the wrong day, or people are just in a negative vibe, and then that just like resonates with them all day. So I'm sorry is like that quick transmutation that you do for kind of events like this, when you want people to kind of engage either quickly or maybe even a little bit longer, but you want them to know that you're feeling what they're feeling. And I think sincere apologies come when maybe something was like not so accidental but not so intentional, or maybe you did something and then you realize after you were like, maybe you like borrowed somebody's car and because you didn't think it would be a big deal, and then they got back and they were like super pissed, and so it wasn't a bad intention, but then you're like, you know what, I should have just asked to borrow the car before I took the car, and I didn't really think about it, I just took it, thought it would be cool, and then they're super mad. And so this to me is like a little past I'm sorry, because if you borrow someone's car, you should probably like ask them if you can borrow it. But if you got to that point, then you kind of just engage in the next level, which is like, if you didn't have any bad intention, I usually just wouldn't go to that whole frequency of like forgiveness. It kind of depends. It depends on you. You have to feel that out. But this is like a situation where I'd be like, man, I would apologize. I'd want to be sincerely, you can be like sincerely sorry, but I think really if I thought about it, the next level would be just offering someone like, I'm sincerely apologetic. I really apologize because I could have asked you and I just didn't even think about it. I didn't think it would be a big deal. And, I realize now that I could have done a different way. And then that person feels like, okay, you know what? You're not just engaging and being empathetic and understanding why I'm mad. You're actually engaging in this other level of just taking accountability and responsibility that you could have made a different choice, but that your intention was not necessarily super good. It just that you had no bad intention in this kind of event. And so this is an event that you would apologize. And then the next level event is like it can be, I think, sometimes unintentional, but most definitely when you intentionally are trying to hurt someone, you intentionally choose to do something, and then the experience happens and you need to transmute this experience because after it you realize you were in the wrong. You're like, man, I just like went at somebody and like chose to yell at them because I wanted to yell at them and I wanted them to feel bad, and then you did it and they felt bad and then you felt bad. And so then you go to the level of asking for forgiveness, and asking for forgiveness or asking to be forgiven is usually important in this one because you had that intention and you held that vibration. So it's like you're totally accountable and totally responsible. And then sometimes we have events where we can be instigated by somebody else, and so the natural or like the first intention isn't malevolent or malintent or bad, but say you just get caught up in a situation, like two other people are fighting and then you just want to like break it up, but then somehow within this situation you start screaming at somebody else, or a fight breaks out and you just engage in the fight because you're just like trying to defend your friend or something else. And then when it all is said and done, you realize that people actually got hurt, like somebody actually got physically punched or physically hurt or escalated out of control, or you just screamed at somebody and it really wasn't, you didn't mean to, but you kind of just got brought into this situation. This is just obviously a hypothetical situation, but in this case, you might say, I didn't begin by having a negative or bad intention, but I definitely projected a lot of negative energy. And negative energy is just anything that is kind of discordant to somebody else's well-being. And so when you are projecting any kind of energy like this, this is really when I think we get to this level of forgiveness or asking to be forgiven. And certainly this is not all set in stone or black and white. There are events that happen that are kind of in between, in the gray. You as a person and as your own being, I think you have to decide, you have to know in yourself which one feels like the right thing to do. Does it feel right to say I'm sorry? Does it feel right to apologize? Or does it feel right to ask somebody to be forgiven for something? And the most important tip of this video, I'll just say, the most important tip of this video is that when you have to engage with an individual directly because of something that you did, and you realize in your body and your being and in your soul that you want to say, I'm asking you to forgive me for this, sometimes asking people to forgive you can be challenging. If it's a recent event and you're still in contact with the person, sometimes it's easier to go and ask. And like I said, sometimes this is challenging because too, sometimes you can go, be truly, genuinely sincere, honest, and say, explain yourself and say, I'm asking you to forgive me. And sometimes people just aren't ready. They're just not in that place. Somebody goes, no, I'm not ready to forgive you. I'm still hurt. I'm still this. I'm still that. And when they go through that process and you realize, man, we're just not on the same page, because I'm really trying, I'm like really tapping into being empathetic, and I'm really tapping into being responsible and holding my accountability. But this other person is just not ready to give that forgiveness to me, or to forgive me. And so I realized the other day, I was like, whoa, you know what? Sometimes instead of directing the question directly to a person and by saying like, hey, will you forgive me? Like so-and-so, will you forgive me? And say that doesn't work, or that person isn't ready. Or say it's like an event from like 20 years ago and you just are doing some soul healing or shadow work or inner child healing or past life healing, and you go, oh man, you know what? That's really, I feel like the right thing to say, but it's hard to direct it. I just realized the epiphany I had was to just ask for forgiveness. So you don't necessarily have to ask the person. If you feel in your being that you do, because it was something very personal or something recent, or let's say something that's happened to you like now in present times, and you have the ability to go and ask this person specifically. But I had events too where I was like, man, this happened like 20 plus years ago, and I'm just trying to do this healing, and I realize now that I like need to ask this person. And maybe you don't want to call this person up, maybe you can't call this person up. You could just like speak out into the universe, I'm asking so-and-so to forgive me, but you realize that you may not get an answer directly from this person, is to just put out into the universe that you ask for forgiveness. So I thought that was really big, because I think a lot of people struggle going back to the individual and saying, hey, will you forgive me? And a lot of that is our own inner ego struggles that we have with ourselves. But one step that makes it a little bit easier right now is to just say, you know what? I'm asking for forgiveness. And you get down on your knees, or you sit in meditation, or you sit in prayer, and you really think about it, and you resonate with the event, and you resonate with the energies of the people that you need to, and you just say, I'm asking for forgiveness. And a lot of times that forgiveness not only comes from the other person, but we're looking also the energies within us. Sometimes we like traumatize our own inner children by doing certain things, and sometimes the asking for forgiveness is a way to kind of like encapsulate or include all of the energies that were really affected by this discordant energy that we put out there. And so that's really important too, because a lot of times we do certain things and all of a sudden we're just like, oh, you know what? I screamed and I like said, I swore, I even cursed at this person, and I need to ask them. But it's like something in your soul sometimes, something in you sometimes needs to be healed from projecting these kinds of energies. And so when we ask for forgiveness, and it might be both. You might ask the person to forgive you, but you might also ask for forgiveness. And I just thought that was important, because that's a transmutation that's happening on different levels with different energies, not just your own energy, but somebody else's energy. And that is super important in this time when we're doing all the shadow work and collective work, and we're trying to raise the vibration and frequency of not just ourselves, but other people too. And that understanding that this is a personal journey, a journey of self-discovery. So forgiveness is really about you understanding whether you're ready to receive forgiveness, or whether you're ready to give forgiveness. If you're at that state and you think you need to give forgiveness to somebody else, and release this negative discordant cord that you have with someone, that's really important. That that you're giving openly. But I think really importantly, it's a lot about receiving too, because when we ask people, individuals, to forgive, it can be sometimes hard because you're dealing with an individual personality. But when you ask for forgiveness, it's like you're putting it out into the universe. You know, if you believe in manifestation and the law of attraction, or like The Secret, you ask, believe, receive. You ask for the forgiveness. You ask for the forgiveness, and then you believe by knowing that you're in the right state of being of receiving it, and then you're able to receive that transmutation. But the most important part of this video was really, if you're not ready for the two-step process, which is, like I said, kind of a different level, you basically, when you ask someone to forgive you, that you ask for forgiveness, or even if you have to ask yourself to forgive a part of yourself, to ask for forgiveness, or to receive forgiveness, or to send forgiveness. But anyway, that's the video. That was a quick tip. It wasn't that quick because now it's like 15 minutes in, but I just wanted to give that quick explanation. I hope you guys but I hope that information is relevant, especially in this process of healing, understanding your feelings, understanding emotions, trying to raise your vibration and frequency. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I will see you in the next video.